Good evening. My name is Grzymkowski. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Graduate Admissions here at William Paterson University. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your schedule to join us today for our online orientation. We have this geared towards new graduate students for the summer session, but it goes without saying that this would also be helpful for anybody who may have been accepted for a program for the fall semester coming up, and for somebody who's still at a point where they're determining if they're going to be registering for classes or not for the upcoming summer session. So if you haven't registered for classes yet, would encourage you to do so, as the first day starts on the 24th, so we're not too far out at this point. And you can do that through WP Connect, which is the online portal that we have that our students can use to search for classes, to check availability for different courses, and then finally to register for classes. So just a very quick plug on that, but I realize that many of you are here because you have already registered for classes and you're getting ready for the start and just want to go over some of the important things that you need to know about everything from getting your ID, parking decals, and all of that good stuff. Two things I'd want to make sure that you know. First, right under the handout section there on the GoToWebinar screen, we have this presentation available in its entirety. So if you have to leave a little bit early for one reason or another, you get distracted, you need to come back, you need to refer back to any of this, we have made that available to you. You can always click back for any of this information, and hopefully that also allows you to stay hands-free. You can just focus on listening to this, not feel like you need to jot down notes or contact information or department names or anything else. And most importantly, it's our hope that this medium, having this in an online format, is helpful for you. The feedback has generally been very positive for this, and this is something that we've been doing over the last couple of semesters. There's no substitute for coming to campus. If you do have questions, if you need direction, we would encourage you to come to Morrison Hall, which is where the Graduate Admissions Office is located. We're always happy to steer you in the right direction. Certainly your program director, if you're matriculated in a program, is a great point of resource for you as well, so keep that in mind too. But we know it's everybody's busy, there's a lot going on this time of year, and it's our hope that you can just sit back, take in all this information, and it's helpful for you. So with that being said, I'll jump right into the presentation. For those of you that might not be from the area, maybe out of state, maybe even out of the country, this is a picture of our campus, an aerial view that we're very fortunate to have. We're located in Wayne, New Jersey, right in Passaic County. Many of you probably know that. Just for a very quick background, the college was founded in 1855. We're 25 minutes from New York City. We do have bus service that goes right into New York Port Authority. So there's the opportunity, if you are going to be living on campus, to just hop on a bus and go into the city. We have over 1,400 graduate students in our population, and then over 30 master's level programs, as well as initial certification, endorsement, and certificate programs. But as I mentioned, I know many of you may be aware of that. So here's a couple of things we're going to go over in the presentation. We are going to go over how to get your student ID card, getting a parking decal for yourself, WPU email account, our emergency notification system, some of the reasons that all of that is particularly important for you, WP Connect, which I referenced before, Blackboard, forms and graduate exams, payment options, grad assistantships, some information about tuition, and then some of the frequently asked questions that we receive as we go through these presentations. Another thing I would reference is if you do have any questions as we go through, if there's something that's very particular to your own circumstances or something that you see touched upon but you'd like us to elaborate a little bit further, you can just type in that chat box there your questions, and we'll either field them right now as I'm joined here by my colleague Christina Aiello. As we go through, she can jump on and answer some of your questions, or you could save them to the end and we could have a question and answer session at the end as well. So certainly keep that in mind as we go through if there's anything you wish you knew a little bit more about. Attaining a student ID card. That can be, you can get your ID card from the hospitality office. It's located right in the University Commons, which is our student center. It's room 100. If you're facing the front of the building, from the path by the library, it's literally right up the middle through the front door. You'll see Burger King right on your right-hand side, and then right on the left-hand side is a little alcove there. The student desk is there. The help desk is there as well. They could point you in the right direction. They're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. There are additional evening hours as well, and then, as I said, if you download this presentation for yourself, you can click on the link that's there, or you can find the information online. ID cards are issued to all students who are currently enrolled for classes. Initial ID card you get at no charge. People do drop them, lose them, misplace them, any other number of things. There is a replacement fee of $10, so would encourage you keep it in a purse, a wallet, somewhere safe, a lanyard, whatever, keeps it where you need it. And if you had some terrible misfortune and managed to lose 3 in the course of your time here, there would be a $25 fee to get your 4th card, I suppose, at that point. And then necessary requirements to obtain your ID card that first time. Make sure you bring 2 forms of identification. And then again, you need to currently be enrolled in classes at William Paterson. And whether you're going to the library or using some of our other resources here, you do need the ID card. I would encourage you to get it, ideally before the start of classes, so you don't find that a service that you need isn't available to you because you don't have your ID at the time when you're on campus. Parking decal. You need to fill out the form online before you can receive your parking permit for your vehicle. I can't stress enough, you do need a parking permit here on campus. We do have state police here on our campus. They do issue tickets if you are parked in an area that you shouldn't be. We don't want to see that happen to you. We want to make sure that you're able to park in the spots that are designated for you. So please, I would encourage you to go through these steps. If you are a student, you go to WPUNJ, WP Connect, you use your username and your password to log in, click on the self-service tab, then miscellaneous category, and then parking permit request form. Fill out the form. If you are a grad assistant, the parking fee is not waived for grad assistants. I want to make sure that's clear. But you can see that you would go to the employee tab instead of the self-service tab. So just something to keep in mind. And again, I know it's easy to put things like this off, but I would encourage you to get the parking decal taken care of now, ideally before you start taking classes, or certainly as quickly thereafter as possible. WP Connect, I mentioned it before. It is a portal where you can access a lot of information. It's very user-friendly. It's geared as a homepage for our students, as well as our faculty and our employees here on campus. You can see that the link is right there on the bottom, wpconnect.wpunj.edu. You would use the beginning portion of your university email address. So for me, my last name is Grzymkowski, which is super long. I won't spell it for you. And then the first letter of your first name. For me, it's a B. Sometimes there are numbers involved if you have a very commonplace last name, but that's what you use as the login. You get rid of the @wpunj.edu section, or student.wpunj.edu. And then your ID number would be the beginning with your 855. So that's what you use to log in, and that's what you would use subsequently to log in each time. Reason is everything from payment plans, bills, Blackboard, your email, all academic transcripts, everything is there. So that is where you would probably spend the most time overall when perusing our website. So I'd encourage you to familiarize yourself with that. If this is your first term on campus, your first time taking classes, I would encourage you to take a little time before you get to campus to poke around a little bit, learn about the resources that are available to you, and certainly believe you'd find that very helpful. The email account. All of our official correspondence is going to come to you through your university email account. I know you may have been kind enough during the process when you were considering William Paterson to provide us with a personal email address or a home email address. In some instances, you may still get some very basic communication to that account, but I can't stress enough that anything important, anything that would be vital for you to know will be going through that WPUNJ email address. So make sure you check it regularly, whether you're syncing it to a smartphone, whether you're logging in from a laptop or a PC. Make sure that you check it frequently. Oftentimes, faculty members will communicate with you through that email address. And again, if there were any important information that was being conveyed by the university or by the graduate admissions office specifically, we'd be reaching out to you on that email address first and foremost. So make sure that you check it off, and I can't stress that enough. Emergency notification system. There is the opportunity to opt in to receive important notifications if there was ever an emergency on campus, if there was ever a road closure, if there were ever weather-related closures, though certainly it's a hope we wouldn't have anything during the summer that was involving snow or otherwise, but still there are times we've had bare sighted on campus, there are a number of different reasons that the university might want to contact you, and we want to make sure in the event of emergency that we're able to do so. So you do need to opt in to receive it for voice, through text, whether it's Facebook, Twitter. Information to do so is available through the homepage. You can see some contact information, radio station, TV station, etc. in the event of an emergency. Certainly it's our hope that we will never have to use this in the time that you're at William Paterson, but it is important to be keyed into that alert system. So I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to do so even this evening so you don't forget, and then you're in the system. At any point you can opt out, but certainly we would encourage you to remain on that system for as long as you are a student here at William Paterson University. In case of emergency, again, I've kind of covered this a little bit, but you can see some information about 911 calls in the event that there was an emergency while you were here on campus. There are a number of the blue box on campus as well. I'm sure you're familiar with them, with the blue light indicating it's a place that you can make an emergency phone call. So again, just to keep in mind, as you're going around the campus, we do have police here in the event of an emergency. There are safety cameras around the campus, motion sensors, etc. But we just want to make sure that you're familiar with all of the different safety features we have here on campus, defibrillators, etc. Just so you are familiar. Take some time to familiarize yourself with ICE in case of emergency, our policies, what to expect, and how to make sure everybody here on campus is safe, including yourself. Blackboard. That's a portal that's used by a number of our faculty to go and whether it's giving a presentation, go over different information. It's a way that they share a lot of different information with their students. So it's a separate portal offered through WP Connect, which I referenced before. The direct link there is bb.wpunj.edu. Just want to make sure that you're familiar with that as well. You will probably get a good sense pretty quickly if it's something that your current faculty are going to be utilizing heavily. Some do more so than others, but again, I would certainly encourage you to take some time to familiarize yourself with it, and then you can see there's a quick guide for students at the bottom that'll go through some of the resources that are available there, how to use Blackboard. And again, you know, if it's something that your faculty member is going to be using a lot, it would be good to take some time before classes start to familiarize yourself with that portal, so keep that in mind as well. Forms for current graduate students. Change of program concentration form. Obviously, plans change. Sometimes students partway through a program will decide that they want to pursue a different concentration offered within their program. Some of our master's programs have several different tracks that would be available to you. So that is the form. If you did decide at some point that you wanted to change your concentration, make sure that you fill out that form. And then you'll see use a graduate application to change from one program to a different program. You know, if you started with exercise and sports studies and you had a dramatic life change and decided that you actually wanted to go into the field of education and you wanted to get an MED, you would make sure that you change that application, and that would give you the opportunity to pursue a different program. Certainly you would have to be accepted for that program as you were for your current program, but just something to keep in mind. Another thing which is really important and I think gets overlooked sometimes, leave of absence form. If at any point you are taking courses at William Paterson and you decide that you are not able to take courses in the next upcoming term for one reason or another, and we know life happens, we know children happen, we know health and family emergencies happen, there are a lot of reasons, economically, job loss, there are a lot of reasons that your plans can change. If at any point you need to leave the university, you have to fill out a leave of absence form. You're not able to just drop down to 0 credits, so you need to make sure that you're filling out that form, and you'll see it's right under self-service under the registration section, and then select the leave of absence request form. It's important because some people, you know, mistakenly believe that they can just kind of step away and there will be no repercussions of that. We want to make sure you're able to continue taking coursework seamlessly. We want to make sure that door is open for you when you need to come back. back and for as long as you need to take that leave of absence. And again, we want to make sure that's documented and there are no issues related to that. So if at any point you do need to leave your program, make sure you fill out the form, and then the registrar's office as well as ours and the program director are aware that that's the case. Transfer of credits form, if you are coming into the program with some credits that you're hoping might transfer in, there is a form available for that as well in the Office of Grad Admissions and Enrollment Services. And then application for matriculation. If you are a non-degree student who is going to be taking courses and not matriculated in the program, you are going to have to apply for the program that you're interested in matriculating in. If you are a non-degree student, you can take up to 9 graduate credits, which usually ends up being 3 courses, or 30 undergraduate credits before you would need to formally matriculate into a program. But once you've made that decision that's what you want to do, you've reached the cap of how many courses you can take as a non-degree student, you will have to apply and matriculate into that program. Now that's a great opportunity for a student who wants to kind of get a feel for grad school, see is this the right fit for me, or for someone who maybe is just shy of the program requirements coming in from the undergraduate level, and the program director says, you know what, let's see what you're capable of, let's see how you do with grad level coursework. It's certainly a great opportunity to try and get your foot in the door and enter into a program. But again, you do have to be accepted into the program. The program director does have to review your application and approve it. So keep that in mind as well if you're going to be taking courses as a non-degree student for the summer. Graduation comprehensive exam information, you do have to apply for graduation. So if you are further along in your program and you are nearing graduation at this time, actually our commencement is this evening, so we're very excited for our students who have completed their program, either their master's or their doctoral program. But you can see the deadlines there for January graduation. The deadline is September 1st to submit your application for graduation. For May graduation, it's December 1st, and then for August graduation, it's June 1st. So just keep that in mind. That is very important to make sure that they're able to award your degree in time, that it says what you need it to, and obviously you've worked very hard for your degree, so we want to make sure that you get it and get it in a timely fashion. And then students who have completed an approval program may apply for a teaching certificate through the College of Education's Office of Certification, and you can see the deadlines there. I won't read them off. Certainly you can see that, and like I said, if you need any of this information, I would encourage you to download the presentation. You can refer back to it after the fact. And then application for comprehensive requirement. In most grad degree programs, a comprehensive component, examination paper project, or other appropriate to the discipline is required for graduation. You can see information about that as well as the deadline for the fall exam and the spring exam. Payment options. Cash payments can be made in person. Office of Student Enrollment Services, they're also here right in Morrison Hall. You'll notice the second you walk in the front door, there's a desk right there. Their counter is where they could take cash payment. Check, money order payment, you could always drop it off in person, but we know many individuals will pop it in the mail, and that's certainly fine. Again, you could send that to the Office of Student Services. Internet check payment, an e-check payment can be made online through WPUNJ.edu/ebill, and then you can also make payments with credit card, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, or Discover. And then we do have a payment plan. It's called our TIP plan that breaks the payment up into installments, and that is available through our Office of Student Services. So you can check out their website or click on the payment plan link that's there. And so again, that's to give you the option to not have to pay it all at one time and have several payments throughout the course of a semester or the summer session. Graduate assistantship. Some of you might be aware, some of you actually may be serving as a grad assistant upcoming for the fall. But a grad assistantship is the opportunity to work here on campus. There is an application process that is associated with it. The deadline was actually April 1st. So if you did not have the opportunity to apply, you weren't aware it was an opportunity or it's something you might be interested in moving forward, you could apply by April 1st of 2017 for the fall semester of 2017. During the time that you are appointed as a grad assistant, there is a $6,000 stipend and a waiver of tuition and fees during the time of your appointment. You will work 20 hours per week from September 1st to June 30th, and that could be in any number of offices here on campus. I know, for example, the music department has some positions open, that we have 2 of our own serving here in the grad admissions office. The athletic office has grad assistants, communications, marketing, really all over campus. There are a number of different positions available. There is an interview process as a part of that. You'll see that there are a number of different documents you need to submit. There is a GPA requirement. It is something that we take very seriously, and rightfully so. But for students that get that appointment, it's a great way to help offset the cost of graduate education. And again, you know, even if you have it for 1 year, that's a great opportunity to really dramatically cut down the cost associated with completing a graduate program. So if you're a graduate assistant coming up, congratulations. We're very happy to have you here on campus serving in that role. If you're looking forward to next year, would certainly encourage you to apply. And again, there's an interview process that's associated with that. But for those who end up getting offered the position, it's a great opportunity. The most important thing to stress right here is that this is the in-state tuition for fall 2015, spring 2016. The reason we don't have the most recent fall 2016, spring 2017 information up is that it's still going through the process of being reviewed, being approved by the board of trustees, and then finally getting shared campus-wide and getting posted publicly. So I can stress that this does go up quite a small percentage overall historically from year to year. So while this isn't the exact tuition costs that you would be encountering for this upcoming year, it is or will be you know, quite close and certainly comparable to what you can expect. So I wouldn't use this for crunching all the numbers and really getting everything down pat, but it's certainly a good reference point, a good estimate point for you as you know, you plan for the upcoming year. Again, that will be posted very soon, probably within the next couple, I would say the next couple months. They do it well before the start of classes for the fall term, which generally starts September 1st. So over the summer, you should see that information posted. It'll be available on our website. You'll be able to see it in full. They break it down by credits. Just to keep it in context, again, 3 credits is typically what one course would be. You know, so if you were doing a 9-credit course load or a 12-credit course load and you're a full-time student, you can see what that breaks down to. It does include all of the fees that you would encounter, and you can see the totals on the bottom for your own reference. Again, this is for in-state, and this doesn't reflect the current year's tuition. You can see out-of-state, very similar in the way that it's laid out in terms of the cost and the credits. If you are joining us from out of state, if you are not a New Jersey resident, this would be the tuition payment for this past year. And again, we'll be updating that shortly for you. Also have the breakdown for doctoral. We do have 2 doctoral programs here on campus. You'll see the breakdown of the credits as well as the cost and the fees for our doctoral programs as well, both in-state as well as out-of-state. And again, you can access this either by downloading the presentation, or we're also going to make it available quite likely on YouTube, on our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to refer back to any of this, you'll be able to do so. Frequently asked questions. We're just going to go through a couple of the questions that we get quite frequently from this and just in general in interacting with students. How long do I have to finish my grad program? Again, this question usually comes up because life happens. We realize not everyone comes in, completes all of their credits seamlessly one semester to the next, finishes, and then is done with it. I know that we probably have some individuals who are joining us today who have started a program and perhaps taken a semester or 2 off for one reason or another. We have some individuals who may take courses non-degree, maybe take some time off and then return as a matriculated student. There are a lot of different paths you might follow, but in any case, the goal is to finish the program for you to be one of those individuals that'll be there for commencement in the future. So the answer is it has to be completed within 6 years from the time of matriculation in the program. Certainly it's our hope that it doesn't take you 6 years, because I'm sure for most of us that's not the plan if you're pursuing a master's level program, that is. So for us, we hope that you are able to hunker down to get the program done, but know that if life happens, and it does, you have 6 years from the time of matriculation or to complete the program. Can I transfer credits from another institution? If you've started a program elsewhere, a grad program, obviously it does have to be similar as far as the credits to an existing program here, but you can transfer a maximum of 6 graduate credits into one of our programs provided they meet the conditions specified in the grad catalog. How many credits denotes full-time status? Sometimes you might need that for an employer or for financial aid or for another reason. 9 credits is considered full-time for a grad student, 8 to 9 credits for biology students, and then grad assistants must be a full-time student. So just something to keep in mind as well. Is there financial assistance available for graduate students? Just so you know, and many of you may be aware, financing for a graduate education is a little bit different for undergrad in that most instances individuals are going to be qualifying for a loan and using that to pay for their education versus a series of grants, scholarships, and otherwise, which is a bit more commonplace on the undergraduate level. So we do offer the grad assistantships, which I mentioned before. That's a great way to help subsidize the cost of your education during the time of your appointment. And then for other things like scholarships, student loans, etc., they can be obtained through the financial aid office. That's separate from our own, and you'll see that the link is there if you do want more information about financial aid. And it's important to note that financial aid is not available for graduate non-degree students. Those are costs that will be paid out of pocket, so just keep that in mind as well. Where can I find course offerings and schedules? If you go to William Paterson University's main page at WPUNJ.edu, click on Students, and then click on Class Schedules. You can see all of the course offerings, availability, etc., as well as WP Connect, as I mentioned before, is a great way to check up on the classes, make sure that a class is in full that you might be considering if you're registering for the full time and all of, or for the first time rather, and all of that good stuff. How do I register for my courses? One thing I would stress, we did do a registration webinar, and we've done a couple of them so far, quite recently, actually in April. So if you go to YouTube and you do a search for William Paterson University and graduate programs or grad school, you'll see that our videos should be there towards the top. And I would encourage you, if this is your first time registering for classes, if you're a little unsure, if you want a little bit of guidance on that, watch a webinar. We really did cover everything we could possibly think of. There's a number of screenshots for WP Connect so you can see what you would be seeing as you go through this process. But obviously the program directors as well know the ins and outs of what courses might be the most appropriate fit for you if you're kind of making a tough choice or you're unsure of how to proceed. And then, as I mentioned, you can always stop by Morrison Hall here. We're more than happy to guide you through the process, answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to call or stop by any time. Right now, our office is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, but we do switch to summer hours. Actually, next week is our first week with the summer hours. That's 8 to 5:15. And then, ironically, the following week, we're actually going to be back to our traditional hours for one more week because of Memorial Day. And then from that point forward throughout the summer, we're going to be on an 8 to 5:15 schedule Monday through Thursday. So just keep that in mind if you do have plans to stop by at any point. But you can see the basic steps that are involved with registering for classes. And then where can I purchase my textbooks? You can purchase your books in person or through the bookstore's website, and you'll see that the link is there. And then, you know, just a general point, which I think is good for everyone to know. In the back, faded in that picture, is the Student Center, University Commons. That would be a good point of reference as well. There are food options there for those of you that are going to be on the main campus here. There is the school bookstore if you want a William Paterson University polo for the summer, a t-shirt, whatever the case may be. There are vending machines if you need a quick snack on the go. There's the help desk there if you have questions. There's a lot of good resources there. And then here at Morrison Hall is where you'd find a lot of the other things that you might need. The financial aid office is here, student enrollment services is here, the grad admissions office is here, the registrar is here. So this is another point of reference for you if you do have any questions that come up, and of course we know they do. So we would encourage you to stop by here or one of the other offices. If you are in the Valley Road campus, that is our separate campus campus that houses our College of Education, as well as our MBA, our College of Business. There are food options there as well. There are all of the amenities that you would need there too, and there is transportation to and from the main campus. There's a shuttle service that goes back and forth. So again, you're more than welcome to stop by there if you have any needs in that regard too. Now, our contact information is up on the screen. Our main phone number here is 973-720-3641. If you need to fax us a document or a form for one reason or another, you'll see the fax number is there. Any questions, email is one of the fastest ways to get a response from us, graduate@WPUNJ.edu, and then you'll see our website is there as well. If you haven't already, we'd love to have you follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, connect with us on LinkedIn or Instagram. We have accounts on all of those social media platforms, and we always share important information about deadlines, about events on campus. If there was an emergency, we make sure that we try and keep you on the loop on that regard through that medium, and it's just a good opportunity to keep up to date on all things William Paterson University. And would also encourage you to follow the general William Paterson University account. They cover everything under the sun about William Paterson, and certainly we'd love to make sure you're getting all the information that might be helpful for you. But with that being said, that concludes the formal part of our presentation. It's certainly my hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that we covered everything that you might have wanted to know more information about. If this is your first time taking a course at William Paterson, I hope you feel very comfortable and confident with the next steps before classes start on the 24th for our summer session. If you haven't registered for courses yet, if you're kind of on the fence, I would certainly encourage you to do so as soon as possible. We want to make sure you have the most course availability possible for yourself. As you might imagine, as we get closer to that first day of classes do fill up. So I would encourage you to go on to WP Connect and register as soon as possible. If you have questions, I would encourage you to watch that registration webinar that I referenced before, and certainly my hope that that would prove helpful for you as well. If you haven't been on campus, we'd love to have you as a guest even before classes start. Make sure you get the chance to walk around. We've had beautiful weather lately, thankfully, and especially tonight with commencement. There are balloons all over campus and just a wonderful place to walk around and just enjoy some time. And then if you have any questions, I can't stress enough, we're here to help. Make sure that you get in touch with us. I'm going to stick around for a couple minutes. If you do have any additional questions, make sure to just type them in the chat box there. But otherwise, we're really looking forward to having you on campus, to welcoming you here for the summer session. And otherwise, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. It's much appreciated, and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.